All right.
And we in this thing, and we in. Hold on, I gotta get my phone because I have some notes. But what's up, sir?
You.
So,
Oh, microphone trying to peep in. What's going on? So, I have come to the conclusion that it actually is more expensive for me to buy groceries living alone than it is to eat out. So, after this, we're not doing groceries.
you said it's more expensive to buy groceries. It's because of the stuff that you probably want to cook.
No, I think it's because no, it's not that. First of all, I eat a lot of vegetables, a lot of like I don't. I feel like I spent similar amounts of money when I bought regular meat, but I'm spending like over $300 a month on groceries. Actually, it's not even a whole month. I did my last, and this could be the fees involved could be related, but I'm doing Instacart, and my last delivery was 10 days ago, and it was like $130, and today it was like
Oh,
$110, $100, something like that.
you know how much
That's
I
not
spend
300,
at the grocery store?
huh?
You know how much money I spend when I go to the grocery store?
How much?
$50.
Well, me too normally, but this time around I have been. But this is the problem. I've been shopping around recipes, and I think that's what the problem is. Instead of
Yeah,
getting like
that's it. When you
essentials,
shop around recipes, you definitely.
I'm
But
getting
yeah,
stuff I
even
ain't
when
gonna
I,
use no
since
more.
I get my fruit from it's a good and a bad thing to shopping at the farmers market because since I stop at the farmers market for my vegetables and fruit, I actually just got some zucchini from Publix like 5 minutes ago. So, but that's it. Um, I normally do not do that just because it costs so much, but at the farmers market, it be dirt cheap. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
witnessed it. You came with me before to see it, but the only thing is, since it's so fresh, that
Don't
it
last long.
don't last long at all.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I think that's my thing. So today I bought like a lot. Salmon is kind of pricey. It's like $6.99 per fillet, and I get my stuff fresh. And then yeah, that's really what it is. I'm just shopping for recipes because I got a couple of recipes I'm shopping for. So just forget you heard it. How you doing, Draco?
I'm outside. You say we outside.
All
Hey,
right.
I'm inside. Sorry.
I'm out. It's snowing. If you guys see us on YouTube right now, I got on a bubble coat and I ain't ashamed.
I
Period.
just got my little. Yes, I just love hoodies. Shout out to hoods, but
Okay.
nah, I'm good. I actually just been in the house. I've been watching some shows that I've been meaning to watch, and
What you
some
been
new
looking at?
shows came out. So I finished Little Fires Everywhere. Crazy, loved it.
Woo! I think another episode is due tomorrow.
Oh, it's still on.
Yeah, a new episode comes out every. You think it's done? You thought that last episode was done?
So here's the thing. I thought that I didn't think it was done, but I didn't know what was happening. I didn't realize that this is something that's currently on like a weekly thing because I'm so used to binge and stuff. And since I
Yeah,
started late, it was like 7 episodes in already.
yeah. Oh, if you did
I was
seven,
like,
it's a really good show.
man.
Yeah, it is. And the young lady,
The
I don't know
first
her
episode,
name.
I was just like, ugh. But now that I'm getting into it, I'm like, woo,
Messy,
baby.
messy. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen with Lil Lane Lane versus Miss
Yeah,
Mimi. Yeah.
not call her that. Her name is Maylene.
No, Elena, the mother, the white woman, Reese Witherspoon.
Oops. Delete that.
Okay.
Oh.
So anyway, yeah, the show is really good. I actually just started watching. I've been binge. I'm on season 3 of Money Heist. Oh my god,
Okay, so that's next.
quality TV.
Money Heist, and Ozark is next. 'Cause I haven't watched
Oh
those.
yeah, you definitely want to watch Ozark. I'm trying to think that I watch anything else. So I've been told. I mean, it's not really like a serious thing, but Lil Dicky has a show called Dave, and I heard it was really good or funny.
Okay. I've been seeing that too. Um, like float around social media. I'm trying to see. It's something else that I wanted to watch. Um, anywho, Insecure back on, so it don't matter.
Yeah, there you
Um,
go. So boom, there you go. I wanted to before we get started, I want to at least acknowledge that this is our 69th episode, and somebody suggested that we talk about sex on this episode, and I wanted to know if you've ever had a one night stand.
um, I probably have had more than enough one night stands, unfortunately.
Okay.
hold on. One night stand is when you meet somebody out and then y'all or okay,
Yeah, it's more
whatever.
like it's like the first time you met and y'all smash. And I don't really know what qualifies it. Like, do you have to know about them? I think you just met, you feel the attraction, and then you hook it up. I'm not judging you, by the way.
I wouldn't care, but just saying. But I mean, I'm 30 years old. You think I'm not gonna experience stuff in the last 10 years? Anywho, yeah, I probably have. I can't count them to be honest, because I mean, why night stand? But in recent
How do
years,
you,
maybe not. But no,
huh?
I said in recent years, not so much for real. Like if at all, but definitely my early 20s, mid 20s for sure.
I've never
I
had one, actually. I
I
forget.
think I talked about one of my crazy ones. I had a really, really. I don't know if I did or not, but I had one of the craziest experiences. I don't even know if I can call it a one night stand because we didn't have sex, but something crazy happened.
I mean, you are creative. but
Whatever that
I,
means.
huh?
I said whatever that means.
I have never had one, and I think it's because I be disgusted by most dudes that I meet at first, and I have this thing where I need to be like in love to have sex. So
Okay, well, not me. I don't. I don't think I have to be in love,
not it
but
don't
I
have
mean,
to
at
be deep
this
in love,
point, I
but
do
just
have
some
to
kind of
like
feeling.
you.
Yeah, some feel. Let me not say that because
Yeah.
I've definitely have sex with somebody before that I wasn't in love with, but I did have feelings for them, and so I felt like okay, But I be feeling like I gotta know so much about you. What's your blood type? How many
Yeah.
dogs have you ever had? How do you treat your kids? I mean, kids in general. But okay,
Um,
cool.
Before I moved in this house, I used to live in Hateville, which is Slick the Hood. Well, I ain't that slick to it, but the part I lived in was the hood. And child, just know I had this damn boy show up at my house. That was strike one. He came to my house, and when I opened the door, he had on a tank top, bunny ears,
Oh yeah, you talked about that. Yeah.
and the little underwear and Tim's.
Sound like a
You
slippery
know, just
slope to
like
me.
what the fuck is happening here? I don't like stuff like that.
Listen,
I don't.
I would think I was getting robbed or somebody hired a stripper.
But the thing is, you gotta never mind. But I don't. No.
Next. All right. What you got in shop talk?
Oh, let me see. Let me see what I got for the shop talk. Let me see. I got a question though before I get to the shop talk. I'm on Instagram pretty often looking at dentists, and I just have a question for people with veneers. Can y'all eat ice cream and like bite it and not
Without
feel it?
getting
I'm not
brain
even trying to be
freeze.
funny. I don't know. I don't know.
Please let him know because we you can ask some of your clients. Some of your clients have veneers.
Oh, I just one of them is 8 minutes ago. Um, one of my shop talks it just popped up. OC Genesis is going back and forth with Keyshia calling Nefertiti, and I don't like it.
I ain't even read it. Sometimes when they be beefing like that and it be long, I'm like, it ain't meant for me to look
I
at. But
haven't read it either. What's his name?
I see what he just posted.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying that.
Okay, say less.
Um, yeah, he said I almost went to jail one time for selling crack to your mama.
Oh, they from the same hood.
Yeah, my one time maybe never mind. Well, I was in a situation. Maybe this is oversharing. I'll tell you off air, but it got
Yeah, don't
I'll
share it.
okay. But
Okay.
just I don't like this. First of all, me personally, how I feel about Keyshia Cole. Let me just start there. Um, it's something not there. It's something I'm missing. I don't know. I don't really know Keyshia Cole like that, especially in recent years. I used to love her show, love her music, but she just seems really difficult to work with.
Mm.
I could be judging her just by looking from the outside looking in, it just seems like she's just a difficult person to work with because she just always seems to be the common denominator of beef. I do think that this has been taken out of proportion because at the end of the day, like, OT Genasis should have just respected her wishes and just left her shit alone. Like,
Yeah,
but
or she.
in the same breath though. Oh, I'm sorry, it was a net. Um, it was. But um, in the same breath though, like, I feel like she only got mad because he was getting like notoriety off of it because people was loving that song that he did.
But she
But he,
had to have been getting plays too, because that's usually what happens. Like people want to hear
yeah.
the original song. I feel like she was
And this
kicking.
takes me back to what I just said about her being the common denominator of a lot of.
Yeah, I can understand that because I think about even like TikToks and stuff. These people's songs, even remember that "Boy You Should Know." Remember that song came back out of nowhere, and because of that little dance. I just feel like it's one thing if you don't like it, but she literally said that somebody tweeted, "I'll never hear that song again." Ma'am, it's not even that. I'm pretty sure that didn't literally mean, "Oh my God!" Every time what I'm saying. People say that all the time. I never look at this the same again, but it's not like a traumatizing thing. It's just more so like. Man, every time I hear this song, I think about OT Genasis. You think about Keyshia Cole too, because it's your song. But whatever.
The song, like, yeah, I don't get it. I think that she's took. I don't like the climate for today because it's just like,
Be
and I
mad
mean,
for nothing.
like this time because people just be taking stuff out of proportion. It's like, dang, can we have fun? Like, I understand. I don't see if it's something that's being like they harm your family, talking about your family, disrespecting your family, disrespecting you. But nobody was being disrespected. I don't get it. Meanwhile, Bad
It
Baby,
literally was drama for nothing. And now nobody gonna want to do your song. Like, okay, I don't want to deal with that. And
meanwhile,
this is being dragged out.
I said, meanwhile, Bad Baby got a whole career still. So.
Okay. Anyway, speaking of people that also seem to be difficult to work with, Black Chyna's charging $250 for followbacks, $950 for FaceTime videos. What's your thoughts?
Cap, first of all, the fun part about it is somebody is paying for it.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's crazy as it seems. Let's see how many followers she got now.
She follows like 2,000 people right now. That just further proves that she was paying to be in a relationship. She was being paid to be in relationships with them dudes.
I said that a long time ago. So she has 16 million followers on Instagram right now. 16 point. I guarantee you, minimum, she probably got like 10 requests for the FaceTime.
Oh, of course. And it's the thing. She ain't even got to be. She can answer the call and then just look at you. You need a therapist. You need help.
I want to know how that go. Like, I don't know.
People like, oh, maybe you can pick her brain. I'm like, excuse me? Okay, number one, I don't really think there is a problem with charging people to like have a video chat. I think that's cool. That's something that could be like, oh my gosh, this is my biggest fan. $950 is a lot, but I think that if it was any lower, then a lot of people would be requesting it and it would just kind of dumb it down. Now the $250 for follow back is where I draw the line. It's kind of like, sis, it's probably
follow back was crazy, but I mean, that's the FaceTime thing is almost similar to like if you go to a concert and pay for a meet and greet ticket.
Exactly. So I can understand that. And I think somebody else, another celebrity had something like that. This was a white artist, I think, or actress. And Winnie Williams was talking about it and she was charging like $100 for like video chat. I don't think these people are not necessarily accessible. So if they have a fee and you want to talk to them and you want to be private, then hey, pay for it. But I think the follow back is what I find is weird because it's like, I don't know. And then $250,
what can I do for you? But I always tell people that too, because when I meet people that follow me on Instagram and they like my work, or they like me or whatever, they always be like, oh, can you follow me back? And in my head, I'm like, no.
Wow.
I
want to follow people that I want to follow. Like, I want to like your content.
Yeah,
but there's some people
be organic, and I don't like a lot of clutter on my timeline. People don't know this, but I unfollow like, and I unfollow like 500 people a week.
Because you follow a lot of folks, and you don't really get to see the content you actually want to see. Like, I hate remember those follow days. People be following 8,000 but want to say they got 8,000 followers. Yeah, because you follow everybody back. I just feel like now you can do what you want to do with your timeline, but for me, when I follow, I want to see the people that I know or have an interest in. and that's it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure Black China's probably muting these people. Like, she's not. You think she's gonna be? Let me tell you. I met Sammy 6 years ago at my birthday party, and he followed me that night. He ain't never liked the picture. He ain't never did nothing.
God.
And I ain't pay for it, but I'm just saying, like, what does it do? Like, it doesn't do. I mean, I have replied to stuff that he's posted before, and I've sent him a video one time of this like homeless dude dancing to his son, and he replied, but like, we're not friends. So like, what does it do? You know what I'm saying? For me to like, I don't know. And I think also because it's Black Chyna, and she just kind of she seemingly does a lot of things for attention, like indirectly, like even with her showing up at the house yesterday looking like Michael Jackson.
I was just about to
knew what
say
she was doing.
Yeah, like
you know, you look crazy.
Her glam team is good. Like they A1. So I know that they had to be just like
trolling.
A troll. Hold on, Tori calling me 1 second. Hey Tori. What's going on?
I am downloading it right now.
You said you downloading it?
I mean, not downloading, signing up. Do I need to sign up?
Yeah, use your Gmail. I don't think you have to make an actual account. You could just use your Gmail account.
I got you. And I'm trying to figure out how to use my mic.
Is it a plug-up mic?
Yeah, it like has a USB, but I don't know how to. I don't know, like if I need kind of software or.
No, when you log in, and then like once you get accepted into the chat, the chat that we're doing, it's a way that you can, like, it should automatically work. You just have to like a few things.
We could just walk her through it when she connects on the video. It'll be easier.
Yeah. Like once you connect on the video, then we'll walk you through it because we're on it now. Okay. Yeah. So once you do that, and what I'll do is I'll create a group chat with all three of us, and I'll text you the link. So it may not be sent right at 7, like a recording before we start. But once we send it, do you have a MacBook?
Yes, it's an old one though.
But does it have iMessage on there?
It does.
So when we send it, is it gonna come to your iMessage? If I text you, would it come to your iMessage?
No, it's not connected. I haven't connected, so it's just on my phone.
No, that's fine. She'll be fine. We can if she can text you her email, I can email her the link too. If she can open her email up from the computer, she could just open it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just text me your email. You can do it that way too.
Sounds good.
And then I'll text you a heads up when we about to request it. But just go ahead and log in and stuff, and then hook the mic up, and then we'll get started from there.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right.
Back.
So what you were saying something about her glam scene?
That A1. So like the fact that she came out the house yesterday looking like that is crazy.
Intentional. Somebody said that she failed at being a Kardashian, so now she's just trying to do everything she can.
That was crazy. Like I was looking at them pictures for so long.
You know she ain't want. Come on, let me talk about Black Chyna. You know that ain't no way she was like, oh, this how I'm finna look.
Black Chyna, I saw her closet one time through Kellen. Like he posted her closet on Instagram, and she has like 70 wigs. First of all, she still have those bang wigs in every color.
Ooh, now that's the Black Chyna I miss. Bring her back.
So if she needed to just run out of the house and she ain't had no wig on, she could have just
threw that. A bang wig is my go-to when I just need to run out the house.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't even no girl. I don't even wear wigs. And I know that the bang wig is good for a go-to little one too. No.
All right, what else we got?
Let's see.
Well, go ahead.
So now they're trying to say that Playboy Cardi told the officer that arrested him that he fucked his daughter.
I thought that was funny. I ain't gonna lie to
He
you.
mad because I believe the police officer is mad because his friends took the charges. But it's cool. They love getting rappers in trouble. I wonder what's their obsession with that. Like they love that. They like.
You know what? I think it's jealousy for real. Because these are the type of dudes outside of the rap. These are the type of dudes they target to pull over and arrest. But now the police officer has this preconceived notion that this rapper thinks that he's tough and he's better than them. So now they got something to prove by trying to arrest them. That's all. I think it's envy. Let's be for real.
You probably don't care, but Summer Walker and London on the Track are done
for now.
Yeah, I honestly feel like it's gonna be for a minute because I feel like they had a work relationship. Summer Walker was definitely popping when she met before she met him, but he definitely popped her up, especially with her album. Like,
woo, he got that check off for us too.
Yeah, so I feel like definitely they have a work relationship, and he always talked about how every time she said she was gonna quit music, that he was just like, "Oh yeah, y'all ain't gotta worry about that. I ain't gonna make sure that I'm gonna make sure that ain't happening." And even in her concert in Atlanta, she was rushing to get off stage. She was so ready for that concert to be done because it was the last show, and she didn't even finish the whole song. Well, she finished the song, but she didn't even say bye. She just walked off. And London ended up coming out and sang her whole last song and he was like, "Yeah, I wrote this. I wrote that." No, he was just, just
trying to look out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I wrote them, and them lyrics was written by me. And I'm
That's
like,
kind of embarrassing. I don't like that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like they had a work relationship. I ain't trying to take away from the fact that he probably did care about her and vice versa, but I think that she is just the type of person that probably needs somebody that is going to understand her and kind of be private.
The person she write about in her songs.
Yeah, because he's definitely somebody that is just like out there. He definitely likes the attention, and she ain't really on that. So it would be kind of, in my opinion, better for her to be with somebody that's on their wave. But also, maybe she do need somebody like that because he did kind of break her out of her shell on a lot of things. So maybe she do need somebody to help her out to kind of break out of her shell. A lot of people, I know for me, I would probably rather date somebody that will break me out of my shell or help me break out of my shell. Like there'll be more.
Yeah. But if it's toxic, I don't know the reason for them breaking up, but I hope that they both choose the decision that's best for them. But I also feel like Hollywood relationships are so rushed and so publicized. It's kind of hard to have a down-to-earth, serious relationship. And if you're going through all these breakups to get back together, I don't know if it's strong enough to stand the test of time. I could be wrong, but I just feel like there's so many factors that can impact a relationship like that. And they're always on the internet saying people's opinions, which can sway the way they think, and it's just weird. I wouldn't want to be dating this era as a celebrity.
Dang, yo, it should work. I'm trying to show this picture of Chyna.
Just let it go. but yeah, so yeah, I'm not. I'm sorry. Not that I don't care, but I wish the best one. I want everybody to see happiness. What you think about Diddy, Draya, and Lizzo? You seen that?
Let's do it.
So if y'all didn't know, Diddy did a dance-a-thon on his Instagram Live yesterday, and earlier in the day, Lizzo joined, and they were playing, I can't remember the song, but it had a lot of profanity in it. She was twerking, and she was twerking for a good little minute. Diddy he was like off screen, and he came back. He was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! This is this is a family show." Da, 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 da. And she started apologizing aggressively, and I don't think so anyway, so she stopped twerking. She was like, "Let's play something more family friendly." And then later on in the day, Draya got on and he played back the thing up, and she was twerking, and they was all for it. And so people was like, "Hold up, you just told Lizzo she couldn't twerk. This family friendly." And he kind of came back and was like, "No, I wasn't talking about the dance. I was talking about the song choice." And Cap, you think that's Cap? Yeah. I agree. You know what's funny? This is the thing. I can see how he came up with that response because if you look at the video, you can see where like when he came back on the screen and she was like apologizing, he seemed like he didn't hear her, and then he started talking about I don't know, but I was like,
Cap.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm just
Because
not.
they was
I don't know.
egging Draya on.
Yeah, Diddy is definitely a person that's superficial. I'm not trying to say he don't respect all women, but he definitely has a type for one, and he definitely is a person who like promotes that vixen type of person. Like he likes that type of girl. So definitely Drea definitely falls into that category.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know, the girl's just been really on Lizzo ass these
It's
past
a
couple
lot of
months.
double
I
standards
don't
going
really like
on.
it. I don't like
And even when he made that little apology video, his sons was in the background laughing. I was like, yeah, I know he lying. Why they bet that laughing? What's funny?
it.
And
Like,
also,
yeah, I don't like that.
me either. Double standards, because even when with everybody egging, remember you seen when Meg was drunk on live talking about comment all these times. Anyway, I don't think there's nothing wrong with talking about that. Do what you want to do. But it's so funny because when Cardi B talk like that, they want to call all kinds of trash and nasty and you being too public. But it's like, yes, queen, you better come 2 times, 3 times. I'm like,
I don't. I'm not one of those people that will say that about Cardi because I think that Cardi. I think I never take her seriously. Like to me, she's just so funny.
she's
Like
just having fun, yeah.
yeah, I just think her stuff is just always like jokes. I be feeling like everybody feel like that with her. I don't know.
Well, people do.
I
People be
know
like,
Meg can be drunk, so I'm like I see it from both sides. I don't feel no type of way because I mean, dudes say all type of shit.
listen, I don't care about them saying any of the things they were saying, but I just felt like I've seen Cardi say stuff like she was talking about watching Tiger King, but she said that she missed it because she was having sex. And people was like, she posted something about coronavirus. They was like, oh, you probably was getting effed in the car. I'm like, shut up.
What the hell?
Sorry, I ain't mean to sound. I hate it here. All right, so anyway, what is that all? So today we have a guest and
Well, no, did you have one? Oh, that was the other one. That was the
what?
only one that you had.
Let me see before I get into the
I feel like a lot. Well, I mean, of course, a lot happened. We on quarantine, self quarantining.
Oh, Jeezy got engaged to Jenny Mai.
Okay, did we not talk about that already?
I don't remember, and I'm bringing it up again. I hope they happy.
I'm sure they are. Anywho,
Okay, next. YouTube gonna get the unedited version of this episode, so this is what will be going on before we edit all the gaps out.
That's cool. I guess we can go ahead and introduce our guests.
Okay, so I'll let you introduce.
Okay. So today we have a very, very, very special guest. Her name is Tori Bay. She is one of my friends, aka ex co-workers as well. Well, maybe I shouldn't put that together, but she is one of my ex co-workers, and also is one of my friends because we definitely hung out outside of work. But recently, Tori, I was on her. We're Facebook friends, of course, and I just noticed that she was posting a lot of like anytime she goes through a situation, a racist situation, she always posts about it. She's been doing that for a long time, and I always comment on it or I DM her about it. I'm like, I cannot believe that stuff like that happens and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And I just know Tori personally, and I know that she's just such a sweet person and I don't know. I'm that doesn't matter though because racist people are gonna be racist to whoever. They don't care how they act. But more recently, people have been like very racist to her towards her because she's Korean. I don't think I said that, but she's Korean. So people have just been real nasty towards her, and in regards to this coronavirus because of course it started in Asia. So they've been like blatantly disrespectful to her. Now
Allegedly, it started in China. Allegedly.
yeah. So I don't. I definitely wanted to talk to her and just kind of like hear her out because I think that for us, even she even shared with me recently like a situation with a black person that told her that her racism was invalid pretty much because she got 400 years to catch up or something like that. And I'm just like, how can you even say that to somebody? Like, you cannot. I don't know. Yeah. I wanted to bring her on because I don't think that people, because we always talk about injustice and prejudice and racism in the Black community, but we never really experience it from other races, like other minorities. So I want to bring her on.
All right.
Get her little point of view.
Okay.
And everything, you know.
So say less. All right. Well, let's see what's up.
How are we gonna do this?
So I'm just gonna end the meeting, and then I'm gonna call you back, and then I'm gonna get her email address from you and send her the link.
Oh, hold on. Let me do that right now before we hang up.
Okay.
You can start recording.
Okay.
How are you, babe?
All right. Hi.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Okay. We can't really hear you that well.
You cannot.
There we go.
I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay.
It was real low.
What kind of mic is that?
You know what? I have no idea. I just found it in a box of stuff, and I don't know.
It sounds good.
But
yeah, it sounds clear as hell.
Yeah, really clear.
So, this is my co-host Alicia. This is so weird having to introduce people over video.
So nice to meet you. I've listened to your guys' podcast.
Okay.
Driving.
Don't judge.
I'm not judging.
I have on a coat because Draco put on a jacket, and I was like, okay. And so I'm actually hot, but I have on like some cheap lingerie under here, so I can't.
No, just take it off.
I can't. And then my hair looks like a child. So, but yeah. So we already did the pop culture segment beforehand, and so now we could just whatever goes there.
Jump into our topic today. So I already kind of gave them like an idea of what we were going to be talking about.
Okay.
Well, them as in our listeners, I already gave them kind of an idea of what we're going to be today.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to just start it off, because honestly, we just want to hear you. We want to hear what you got to say. What you know.
Well, first introduce yourself before we go.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself. Tell people who you are, what you do, where you're from, all that good stuff, and then that'll break the ice. And then.
Yeah.
Oh, Draco, we did not talk about Miss Shanika. That was what I meant to say. I actually wrote it in my notes right here, and I don't.
Okay, let's go. Let's talk about the next one.
Next. It'll be old news by then, but okay, cool. All right.
I'm so bad with probably articulating myself really well. I should have thought of something.
Me too, girl.
Before I came on here.
It's okay. You are not alone.
I'm a podcaster because I literally am the worst at like articulating myself. I get in trouble for that shit all the time. Like on Twitter, I have to like kind of stand back from certain topics sometimes. I'll say something, I'll go, I'm like, I don't really feel like that, but yeah. So yeah.
Oh no, I don't find
it's okay. Trust me, we are not really professionals, so.
Okay, so basically, just you said introduce myself and
yes. Or maybe Drake will give like an intro, like, hey, so hi, what's your, I mean, make it sound comfortable. Because obviously we know how to get on the microphone and introduce, but I don't want you to feel awkward.
Yeah, well, everybody.
I'm a shy girl. Shy.
Oh, well, nobody's watching.
This is true.
But yeah. So this is Tori. Me and Tori met at the Mac counter. I'm not sure how long ago.
It was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I remember when Tori was getting interviewed. I remember the day that you had got interviewed, and we were telling Janae, we was like, "Oh, we like her. You should bring her on." So, but yeah, I love Tori. Tori is. Are you still a bartender?
I mean, currently no, but
yeah.
When all this is over, yeah, I'll probably go back to bartending.
Okay, so yeah, Tori is do it all. She makeup, bartend, strip on the side.
That's right.
Okay.
I'm just playing.
Talk about breaking the ice.
Okay, I'm just playing. Anything else you want to add? Where are you from? Like, where are you from?
Okay, I was born in Georgia.
Okay.
grew up.
I thought you were born in Korea. I didn't know.
No?
I didn't know that.
My parents were born in Korea, but my mom she was like raised in Jersey since she was 12, so we're very Americanized.
Oh wow.
Yeah, born and raised here, but I
What
grew
part
up
of
in
Georgia?
like Marietta, Alpharetta.
Okay, Cobb County.
That's right.
Oh my god.
My first, me and Draco first. I don't know if it's your first apartment, but I did. My first apartment was in Marietta. It was the same apartment that he had.
Yeah,
Apartment complex.
Complex. Yeah, we stayed in the same complex, but not at the same time.
That's what made me living there is what made me love. I live in Cobb now. I live in Vinings, and after my apartment, I was like, I gotta live in Cobb. Like when I buy my place, this is like it's so close. It's my type of hood. It's a neighborhood instead of a
Cobb, but that traffic.
I never have traffic.
It was just weird. I don't know, but it worked out because I was working in Lenox, so it wasn't that far when I lived in Cobb.
Yeah,
Case
I
closed.
had to move to Atlanta because Alpharetta and Woodstock and like Cobb County, I couldn't handle the people there.
You used to be late for work all the time living in Woodstock.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm still late to work.
Alicia, that was a big thing at our counter because the thing about it is Lenox is like so hot and cold. You just never know what you're gonna get because some days you can come in so easy, and then sometimes it takes us an hour just to get through the parking lot.
Oh, I know. So that's why I sneak and park in the Bloomingdale's parking deck where nobody's at, but there's a high chance somebody might carjack you.
Where our counter was at Bloomingdale's.
We worked at Bloomingdale's. It didn't work.
Girl, like getting through the door from Bloomingdale's, like the employee door was a whole ass thing because you had to punch in all those numbers.
Oh no!
You walk in there hungover, you don't remember any of your numbers.
You get locked out, now security man calling on you. Right. Do you have any siblings? Are you only child?
I have 2 younger sisters.
Okay, so they're older. How much younger are they?
The middle child, she's exactly a year and 2 weeks younger than me. So we're both born in September, but just a year apart. Our baby sister, she was born in 98, so
that's so weird to hear. 98, born in 98. That's crazy.
I was in 4th grade.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me that. Somebody said that yesterday. On Twitter. It was a thing that said, "What year did you graduate high school?" And I said 2007. Somebody said, "Oh, I graduated middle school in 2007."
Oh my
god!
God!
Unfollow me.
Unfollow me. Lower your voice.
No, yeah, you are too loud.
No, my high school's having their 10-year reunion this year, so I feel super old.
Do you have any family that's been impacted by coronavirus back in Korea?
You know what? We've checked on our family members that are all over there, and so far they're okay, but it's mainly because South Korea has taken so many measures to prevent it, and they're like one of the leading countries that have, taken preventative measures, and like actually like if someone has coronavirus, they'll trace that person's steps and where they went, and they have a whole app.
The common sense process.
Of course, yeah. So they're all fine.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you heard the episode we had a person who was teaching in Korea right now, and she was telling us this had to be like a week before coronavirus even hit. Yeah. But she was even talking about then like how well the healthcare system was there and how much like they don't play basically. Like, the way we're doing things right now is so embarrassing. And so I think that we got the first case in America was the same day that South Korea got their first case. And it's like night and day in comparison to how they're treating everything. Yeah. And she even said that they didn't even really shut down. Like they did close schools, but like she was still able to go to the club. She went to the store. People were organized on how they received their equipment and things. It's just crazy to think about like how we don't even know what we're going to do.
It's insane. When this happened, I came to my parents' home because it's just easier. But they watch the South Korean news all the time, and on the news they actually had the man that started, or he was the reason that coronavirus got put out in Korea because he kept his church open.
Oh, I did see that.
And they all had traveled from different places, so they were all meeting. It's like a mega church in Korea, so they all caught it, and he was on the news, and he got on his knees and like bowed down in front of all these people saying that he apologized. So it's like,
wow.
they were pretty fast and like blaming someone, taking care of it, you know, all of that.
See, wow. I'm moving to Korea and I'm about to be teaching with Janae because this is crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just praying that we get a miracle and it can just like this time for real end on May 13th solely because that's my birthday and I want to do something.
Hang it up, buddy.
I mean, I'm right there with you.
I really want to celebrate my birthday. I love celebrating my birthday. But it's cool. Like, I already have a plan B. Like, if it don't work out, I know what I'm going to do. But it's cool. All right. So aside from that, for today's topic, we want to just know about your experiences with a lot of racism, like a lot of stuff that's been happening to you around Atlanta, and just how you feel about it, what you think that we should do, what people should do in general, to stop that from happening. Because I think that for the most part, like I mean, you talked about, I think that for the in my situation, I only hear about and people only talk to me about racism in our community, in the Black community.
Right.
That, of course, it definitely is something that is, you know, not just, you know, not just for us, but I just don't, I don't share that same experience with you, so I don't really know. And then, like, from me being your friend on Facebook, I always see you post statuses that just really me off, and I always hit you up. I'm just like, I cannot even believe that people try you like that because you're just so nice. Like, what the hell?
I must look like a fool.
I don't know what we going, like, what happens, and I think that because we know some of the same people, and I think that my confusion comes from, like, are they not saying something because you hang out with them more than I do, and I'm just like, are they not like taking up for you, or like say something? Do they feel the same way? Like, what the hell is going on?
So most of the times that these things happen, they happen so fast that you don't really realize even yourself that it's happening. When I worked at my bar in Atlanta, it's so crazy because my experience with racism is so different from your guys', because obviously the main perpetrator in your shoes are like Caucasians, white people.
Yeah.
Me growing up, the most racism I faced was from Black people, which is insane. I'm not saying that I never got any from Caucasian, you know, it's all the same. Like, there's racists in every race, but I just have more sympathy or empathy for people of color that are racist towards other people of color, because, you know, I don't really feel like it's their fault necessarily. Also, you know, the system is just so messed up that a lot of people of color who are kind of ignorant to the fact, they are not as well educated because they're put in like worse areas. They don't have, you know, the best teachers,
resources,
things like that. And that's also not their problem. They didn't start it. But with the coronavirus, I think my main issue is people just lashing out at Asians, but also like the Black community not really, like, in my experience, again, standing up for me when they see it. I think the biggest example was I have a friend on Facebook that is a pretty huge advocate for the Black community in Atlanta, and under one of his posts, he had posted something about Andrew Yang. He was a presidential candidate, an Asian presidential candidate, and he had said that the way Asian Americans need to fight this is by being more American. And a lot of Asian Americans are like, why do we have to prove that we are more American? Because we're freaking American. Like, what more do we have to do? Why do we have to prove it to you? And when he posted that article, a bunch of his Black followers, they were all just saying things like, well, isn't it the model minority that has so much catching up to do? Like, you finally understand what racism is like, you know, just things like that.
Yeah, kind of making it seem like, because I think one thing I have learned, and this is just me trying to educate myself, is that aside from white America, most people of color have been oppressed of some sort. But I think that because of the response that African Americans have received from America, is so, like, they basically are like, we don't know what y'all talking about. That was so many years ago. Get over it. So now we're like, well, we want respect from everybody. I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, you're oppressed. That's too bad, because my people, we built this country for free. And so one thing I try not to be like closed-minded about stuff like that, because I do acknowledge that people have been oppressed and they have dealt with their own race. Even when you think about like the Holocaust and just so many things that have been forgiven per se, not necessarily forgiven, but those people have kind of received reparations. But I wish that instead of oppressing more people that are oppressed, it's like, this is the time to join together. You know what I mean? It's not the time to, like, if I want respect, I want to give respect also. Like, so it wouldn't help me to come to someone like you and tell you that you don't know what racism is, because it's kind of like saying, like, for me, I'll be like, oh, I grew up struggling. We didn't have a lot of food. We didn't have a lot of cars. But to somebody might be like, well, my mom bought all my siblings a car. She didn't buy me one. It was hard for me. And I'm like, hard? You know what I mean? But I think it's just relative to like your environment and what you used to. I could never expect someone to know I don't even know what slavery is like. I just know the impact that it has had on my culture in general. But it just would not be fair for me to take that out of someone else and say, oh, but you you know what I mean?
You know what it feels like.
Yeah, and it sucks. And I really wish that I was more well versed in like how I'm trying to express myself. But I do, like, even when I see right now in China how they're being racist towards Africans there and like evict them out of their place is not serving. But I feel like here people see an Asian person and they're all Chinese or they're all Asian, so they don't even know that. And not that a Chinese American is not responsible for coronavirus and that they should treat them specific, but they don't even know where you're from. You know what I mean? Right. It's like you're seeing stuff like this, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, even I've seen news articles where they're putting pictures of Koreans or Japanese people on the article. I'm like, they're not even Chinese, and now you're creating that bias that people have because they don't even know what the difference is. Mm-hmm. My bad.
I mean, there was an article that my friend sent me. But most of the attacks against Asians that have been happening were actually done by people of color to other Asians in the United States. Mm. So, it's just kind of sad to see that we as minorities or people that have been oppressed in different ways are doing this to each other. It's just so frustrating to me. I don't understand why. It is almost going not one step backwards, but 2 steps backwards. It's also helping, people that are in higher power that are racist divide us more. And that's exactly what they want. And they love seeing us fight each other. It's just what they want. And it just frustrates me so much that people can't see that because of a little hate in their heart,
Do you feel that that there is a sense of racism from the like, I always hear that Asians hate African Americans. Now, I don't know if they mean Chinese, Korean, Japanese, but do you feel like, is that something that you've experienced before, or do you feel like that may be specific to a different culture in the continent?
So when I lived in Korea for about 2 years, I studied abroad there, and don't get me wrong, there are people that think that, like, just because you're Black, like, something is wrong, or like you're not like the prettier race or whatever it may be. Those ideas are in every country, whether you're a Black person or like in Korea. So I remember someone telling me that the Chinese in Korea are the Mexicans of Korea. And it just like puts things into perspective. Like, it doesn't matter what race you are. There's racism in every country. Mm-hmm. With China treating the Black community the way that they are right now, I 100% do not agree with it. It is so despicable to me that they can even do something like that. But for other Black people to be like, F them, they're doing this to our people, so I'm going to call it the Chinese flu, which is what someone said to me last night. And I was just like,
last night?
Yeah. Yeah. I need to put together a bunch of the comments that people have said to me, but yeah, they this guy said, you know, I'm going to call it the Chinese flu because of what you guys are doing to my people in China.
Sweetie, I'm not
You
even
guys,
Chinese.
first of all, I'm not even Chinese.
Hello. I'm like, China is not all of Asia. There are other Asian countries. You know, so please do not blame us all for what they're doing, and most of us don't agree with what they are doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like here, because if you know, especially being from the South, I think it's kind of tough in the South to like, you know how they're like, oh, but everybody's not racist. That's just some bad people. But it's like in the South, it's like, well, you're white, you must be racist. Okay, that's what it is. But if you go to other cities, like that is such a cute microphone.
I was saying that it is cute.
But yeah, we had to get the name of that. But no, I just feel like how do you even like no one should be racist, right? But that's something that we'll never be able to get past. But it's kind of like the bias here is like you see a black, you look at it, you turn on the news in Atlanta, a lot of the criminals may be black people, but if you go to like all these country cities, and it's just based on localization, right? Atlanta is a predominantly black city, to my knowledge. Now, I don't think.
Yeah.
But if you go to like another city in Georgia, it's going to be crimes committed by white people or whoever's in that community. But I just hate that due to history, it's kind of like we're plagued with that negativity. I don't even know what the point I was about to make. I think basically it's like how the guy was like, oh, we're going to call it the Chinese virus because of what you did. And it's like, you don't even know what you're talking about. So it's like, you kind of like putting everybody in a bubble per se.
Right. And it's not an oppression Olympics that we're running here, you know? We all know about slavery and everything horrible that happened in the United States because, one, we all grew up here and it's in our history books, but it doesn't have in our history books the oppression that my country went through when Japan raided South Korea. Mm-hmm. And there are so many awful things that happened. My grandma will be forever traumatized. Like, it's just so many stories, but because so many people don't take the time to even research or educate themselves about what kind of oppression other cultures may have gone through or other people may have gone through, I think that is super important before, you know, speaking on something so, you know.
Almost like it didn't happen to me, so it didn't happen to me or my people, so I don't care.
Exactly. Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, I feel really sorry for you. But yeah, and I think what I was trying to say earlier too was kind of like down here, people will just assume every white person is racist. But then so the ones who are not racist, when they try to like be genuinely nice to you, they still kind of have that wall they have to get around. But it's like you got to jump through hoops. It's like almost, I feel like for us, like for me, when I'm in, like, especially my work environment, I'm usually always the black person or one of the few black people. And sometimes I even find myself feel like I have to play a specific role so they don't so they don't think. Like I saw this meme once and it was this guy who was doing a partial grin. It was like, and it was like me when I see a white person so they know I'm not a gangbanger. And it's like, this shouldn't even be funny, but I get it. It's like, so I sometimes like, and it sucks because I remember before I got really confident in being who I am, no matter where I'm at, when I first started working in corporate America, I would try to make sure my hair doesn't look a certain way. And I still have that problem now. Like Drake will tell you, I have been looking for a job for months, right? And this could be a coincidence, I don't know, but I had braids, and then the first interview I had after taking my braids out, I got the job. I know I'm a good catch.
So crazy.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so is that what it was? And it's one of those things, like, for example, black women, we go to interviews, we have to look a certain way so they can believe that we're talented and intellectual, and then we get the job, and now we're being our true selves, but then we have to deal with them touching our hair and asking all these questions, just kind of like, what, like, how, I guess my issue right now, I feel like social media definitely it heightens the visibility of racism, but I always wonder, like, what can we do, or if we can do anything to like lessen that, because I feel like we have people that advocate for us, we have people that advocate for every culture, whatever the case is, but like, what could we do as people of color to not be, I don't know, not be biased or not, you know what I mean, to protect each other, you know what I mean? Because I feel like everyone has ideally we have the same end goal. We want the same respect. We want to be recognized for our contributions to society. But it's like, how do you get around that when you don't even know people's true intentions or how they really feel about us? It's just,
it's so weird that we have to be going through this because there are no set of rules on how to deal with any of it. And with so many people, it's like a melting or mixing pot of different like opinions and emotions. So we're not going to get everyone to agree with what we're saying. But I think, you know, for starters, we definitely need to stick up for people, other people of color that are being racially discriminated against. If you see it, whether it be online or not, online more so because we're in this quarantine. I commend the Black community so much because like y'all stick together so hard. Like you see
From
some
outside looking in.
you see some sideways stuff online and you guys will call them out.
I agree.
Yeah, the Asian community doesn't have that. We have one of the biggest Korean communities in Georgia.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Between like all the states, it's like New York, California, and Georgia. But you don't see many people like talking out loud about this kind of stuff or getting riled up or angry about it because, I mean, for one, in our culture, we have been taught to be so submissive in a way and just to like let the white man go first. Like, it's not even worth the trouble. Just be quiet.
You have no idea. Like, I think that to this day, like, I still have, like some sort of setback. Like when I see white people out in public, or if I have to work with them, or whatever the case may be, I always feel like I have to put on a certain type of like,
a song and dance.
Yeah, or either like do certain things. Like it's just like second nature to me. Like I don't even think about it. I just do it automatically when I see them.
Yeah.
And it's so annoying because I even caught myself like, just like kind of like softly talking to somebody.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm like, why am I doing this? Like I had to stop myself. It was in a grocery store. I'm like, why am I doing this? And I'm doing that because for one, like I'm 6 foot, big, and I have a beard. I'm Black, so it's just like when I'm dealing with white women or white people in general in public, I automatically fit. And I have tattoos everywhere. Like they don't know me. So they probably think I'm a thug. I had that happen to me earlier. I went to Publix and the lady almost put the buggy in her trunk because she saw me walking towards her.
That's so crazy.
My car was parked like it was a car in between our cars. And so she had a mask on and she saw me walking towards her, but it's broad daylight. I mean, that don't mean nothing, but girl, first of all,
like you are that fearful of a Black person that you're doing. You don't even like. I have not even posed a threat to you, and it's like good. What is it gonna take for you to be comfortable? Is it when you move all of us from this area? Because that's what I feel like sometimes.
I mean, more than that, it's not what is it gonna take for them to be comfortable. Like they need to be uncomfortable. Like you have lived uncomfortably your entire life, and it's become a habit that we have to watch out or like walk on eggshells without us even realizing that we're doing it.
It's a learned behavior. You're right.
It's sad. It's very sad. And I don't know. I was telling Draco the other day that this has really opened my eyes to the racism that you guys deal with because it's so blatant. It's more blatant towards you guys than it is for us. Like it's blown up out of proportion because of the virus that's going on right now. But I was telling him that I am actually fearful for my life. I feel like my family is going to get hate crimed. My grandma lives by herself. I don't know, like, if she's going to be, if someone's going to be waiting to, like, throw acid on her face or something, because that's happened in another state in the U.S. But what really put it into perspective for me was, Black people have to be scared for their lives every time they get pulled over by a cop, or like every day, because you never know when someone
every interaction
gonna, like jump out and like so it really hit home.
It's just an effed up world we live in. Even when I think about, I have friends that live in Africa, like in Kenya and in different countries, and they even when I hear them talking about they want to do the coronavirus testing in Africa, because it appears that they could take a loss. Oh yeah, we're good. When you think about how rich the continent is in natural resources, and even though a country might not be considered developed, they have similar experiences as we, and it's just so crazy that you can just comfortably say that. Are you crazy? Like what is happening here? But you're right though. I think it's, and I always wonder if it would be different if I lived in like middle America. Maybe the racism might be a little hidden. But I think in the South, because this is like the heart of the civil rights movement, a lot of pioneers in desegregation and things like that, or integration, is I feel like it's a little bit more blatant because these are the children and grandchildren of those people who created those issues that are impacting what we're doing today.
100%.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And it's so crazy too. I really appreciate like working at Mac because I feel like Mac really opened my eyes up. Before that, I've always worked in salons that were predominantly black. Like literally every person in there is black.
Mm-hmm.
Every school that I pretty much went to, all black. So I never really had to interact with a lot of people that weren't my race. So when I started working at Mac and I became friends with you and V and Romana and Kate, like I never like of course I know that it's different parts of Asia and different parts of Middle East and because I think that it like naturally just growing up around like certain stores and certain people, you know, we automatically associate things with that because that's just all we know. Right. So now that I'm around y'all and I get to ask questions and, you know, openly just get opinions from y'all, it just kind of opened my eyes up and just really realized like, wow, people are really rude as fuck. Like certain things that I've done and that I've said, and I look back, I'm like, wow, I cannot believe I even said some shit like that. Like I remember one time on Halloween, I was an Indian for Halloween, a Native American. So Romana waited until I got to work, and she was just like, you know, I didn't want to like put you out on social media or anything like that, just because you're my friend. But she was like, I'm not Native American, but I just want to let you know, like, you know, you kind of got to be careful with stuff like that, just because certain things mean certain things to certain people's culture and just stuff that's personal to them, and you don't want to offend nobody. And I really had to step back because I even talked to V one time and she was just explaining to me like the difference between you guys' culture. Because I'm like, that's so crazy that all of y'all hang out with each other and all of y'all are like different Asians.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, girl, how did that even happen?
I think even the term Asian is funny because Indians are Asian, Russians are Asian.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's just kind of like, it's just, you know, I think for real, I'm just sitting here thinking, I mean, this is kind of common sense, I guess, but I think all of this is just a matter of education. I think it's natural to associate something to a specific group, like a natural bias, like, oh, I don't know. I don't even want to say, but you could be familiar with some, oh, Atlanta got a lot of black folks, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's like, I think it just comes because racism is a learned behavior, right? So I feel like if people learn more about each other's culture or gave each other the chance and had open dialogue without like putting that wall up and showing hate, because even because, you know, if you think about it, like me and Draco, no matter how many times we make ourselves appear to be the token, like the good black person, it's not going to change for the next black person. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
We're just the good ones to them. So now they're going to put up that same wall to the next black person they meet. And the same for you, Tori. It's kind of like you can show, okay, you can prove to them that you're a good person and you haven't even been to Korea. Because it's like, imagine having to say that. I haven't even been there. It's like, you shouldn't even have to say that. They shouldn't even think of it that way because there are people from all over the world who have contracted it from people who come from. They're even saying this might have even started in Europe, but if they even do have the stats to prove that, it's not going to change the bias against China. Because even when I think when SARS was a thing, I think in Canada they were giving like Asian Canadians there a very hard time. It's like, I live here.
Yeah.
Why did you know what I mean? It's just I don't know. I think it's education. I think the leaders of this country have to inspire that as well. And obviously we are in a very divisive society right now, and they would like nothing more than for us to all hate each other and they could just, you know, benefit off of that. Exactly. But it's just really sad. I just think that the way,
I said, you better say that.
But no, I just think about when you think about the education system and how outdated the books are and how outdated the curriculum is and how just the way social media is and the way free speech is being. There's so many things that people can kind of like cut corners and be hateful and get away with it. And especially on the internet, people can put out things that they might not really mean, and it has a higher impact than it normally would. Or people can make fake accounts. They can do Russian bots. It's just so many things that can
the rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Rabbit hole.
That perpetuates that image much more intensely than it would have before this era. So I feel like it's just gonna get worse. And I feel like having the the presidential administration that we have right now, they have coming out of the woodwork. They are coming behind the bushes. They are showing their true colors, and it's like now going forward, they're not gonna. They good. They confident now. They got the batteries in their backs, and it's just what's good. So now I gotta just make sure I protect myself, and I'm just doing the right thing. Don't want to look like I'm stealing. You know what I mean? No matter where I'm going, it's just like I think that somebody needs to take charge and educate and be responsible when raising kids and showing people that there is more to life. Because a lot of times
that is true. Because I mean, even me growing up in a house, like my mom, I was definitely taught out of her mouth, like intentionally, that white people were the devil. Like in so many words. She didn't say that, but like
I know what you mean though. Yeah. And think about it, your mother and my mother were born from people that were a part of the civil rights movement. You know what I mean? Yeah. And their parents were born of free slaves. My great grandmother was her mother was a slave. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that far removed from that, and it's really hard to push, like, to fix a generational narrative. Like the only way that I think the only way that we could be more peaceful amongst each other is by getting what we feel like we deserve, which I don't think the country is willing to give us. So because of that, they're going to continue to express our disdain and how we've been treated, and they're going to continue to treat us the way that they want to treat us, and it's just a never-ending cycle. So I feel like you just got to create your own social groups, uplift each other, be positive, be intentional about educating yourself about other cultures, welcoming other people from other cultures, and not being biased and closed off and then acting surprised when stuff blow up.
And definitely having conversations like this between people of different race or, people of color, it doesn't really happen too often because, of course, we're going to stick to, a lot of Asians will hang out with just Asians. A lot of Black people just hang out with just Black people. But, Atlanta is such a...
that's who you understand. That's who understands you without even having to explain it to somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I get it.
Yeah, 100%. But these conversations need to be had so that we don't have this hatred, at least towards us, because minorities make up the majority of our country.
Not only the economic impact. Let's be
hello.
Clear.
That's right. Like
it's so much stuff that we wouldn't even have if you decided to just kick out everybody that isn't from here, or
if we all go back to where we came from.
Yeah,
bro, that's better place than here.
Let's see how that works. Actually, nobody would be on this land except for the Native Americans that they have forced out west. Let's be clear. But it's just, it's like, it really is crazy. I just had an example in my mind, but I just can't even think about. I even think about when to even go back to like the racism against the Asian community. And when you think about, I remember, and I'm thinking this was like, and not to be like historical, but I'm kind of into that. But I think after World War II, they had actually passed laws to restrict Asians specifically from immigrating to the United States because they posed as a threat because of their social, their financial status, because they had money, they were opening successful businesses, and they were doing well. So they posed a threat to the white community because they were worried that Black people, they set up laws to make sure we would never, outdo them. But the Asian community were like barred for like 10 years, I think, from immigrating to the United States, which is crazy.
They were put into camps in the United States.
Yes. Yep.
I'm so happy that, you have educated yourself on at least, that part. It's, we need to take the time to educate not only ourselves, but other members of our family. Yeah. My dad had eye surgery a couple weeks ago. And when we walked in, someone asked if we had been out of the country or if we were sick. And this was just from a person that was sitting in the waiting room. And I was like, have you been out of the country?
Right.
Are you?
Exactly, because we have the same access to those airplanes.
I was like, excuse me? So I actually had this jean jacket on that said Korea very big on the back of my jacket. Mm-hmm. And my dad was very embarrassed. And he said that I need to take it off and put it into my closet until all of this is over. And that broke my heart. I was like, why? Yeah. Why do I have to do that? Why do you need me to shut up and be scared? Like half the people in this waiting room are old white people that are coughing and sneezing without washing their hands, like no face masks on. And no one wants to sit next to you and I, because we're Asian, like, and you're telling me to like bow my head quietly and brush it up with love.
Meanwhile, she might be the one with the Rona.
It's like, what I'm saying. Yeah,
but you know what? She'll be like, "No, that girl from the waiting room." It's like, no, sweetie, I've probably been in this country longer than you, because she might not even be from the U.S. That is so crazy. And then even when we think about that, you can't even wear your jacket. You can't even be your true self. Like us, we feel like we can't really be who we are. We can't. We can't use our slang and things like that without making people feel uncomfortable. And that's what makes me think about what Andrew Yang did. He was like having them like wave American flags and stuff like that. And it's like, no.
Don't get me started, girl. I do not claim him.
Oh my God.
This is a mess. Do you have you ever been in a situation where things like escalated pretty bad, like physically, from any other cultures, or to a point where you were embarrassed or even got emotional?
You know, the story I just told you was one of the stories that actually made me cry, because my dad has been so trained in his mind to let, you know, a Caucasian person go first, that I'm like, why do you think that this is okay and this is normal? And again, that bled down to my sisters and I when we were growing up. That's why we had always walked on eggshells. So it's just, it needs to stop with me. It needs to stop with my sisters. They need to know that it's not okay. Don't stay silent. Like, I don't care about your feelings, Karen. Like, I don't care. You can be uncomfortable for 1 second. I have been uncomfortable in my entire life. Uncomfortable conversations need to happen. And without them, we're not going to get anywhere.
You're right.
So important.
And sometimes it takes for someone to just be, because somebody, I do believe that people, even though if they might have the strongest, you know, biases against other cultures, I do think that with having those conversations and educating them, that can turn them around. I remember, this is such a like, Oprah had this story, right? This was like a long time ago, y'all. This guy, he was like a racist because he was a self-proclaimed redneck. He hated black people, and his daughter had a baby with a black man. And now his grandchild is black. And then this baby, so he say, changed his mind. It made him realize. Blah, blah. Now, it shouldn't have taken that, but the only reason why I use that as an example, I do feel like a lot of people who are racist against black people, against Asian people, probably have never even been around them. They just know what they see on TV. So I just feel like, you know, obviously the South is a lot more segregated, and people are naturally attracted to who they can relate to, like you said, Draco. But I wish that there were more welcoming environments. And I think one of the few things that can join us together is like music and social media and stuff like that. But then
and
people
food.
And food.
And food. I'm greedy.
Y'all don't like Asians, let them take their food with you. What you gonna do?
Right.
Because you can't come down here. You can't come down to Big Mama house. Baby. It's so crazy. And I feel the same way about Mexicans. You think about how much hate they have for Mexicans. Y'all celebrate Cinco de Mayo. You're going to Cancun.
Within the recent years, I realized that growing up that we were taught to be like real racist towards them too. And I
really?
never realized that. I mean, I feel like as the black community.
Yeah, like, true. It's like, how can the oppressed be an oppressor? Like, come on, y'all.
So what do you guys
think? They literally are our cousins. But okay.
Listen, you're right though. You're right.
People, but realistically, I always tell people this, like, I really admire Mexicans. Like, I hate the fact that people are taught to just like really push them away. Like we really treat Mexicans like shit. Like, as Americans, like they get treated.
I have a lot of Mexican friends, and you're right. Now that I think about it, they have opened my eyes too, because I think that my perception was always like the Home Depot. You know how they have a low wage.
Still with that, I admire Mexicans because of how hard they work. Like, I don't know any black people for real. I ain't gonna say any, but for real, as a whole, not just individually. Like, I don't know a lot of people that work that hard, and I think that it's cool. Like the fact that they stick together. Mm-hmm. Their culture is cool. Like, I think like the music.
They have rich culture. They do. They do. You're right.
Even like when it comes to like art, like I know a lot of Hispanic and Mexican makeup artists that are just like out of this world.
I know some Mexican artists, like not makeup artists, but like painters.
Artists, yeah, in
Oh,
general.
yeah.
And I'm just like, wow. But yeah, that shit is just insane. Like how people just treat.
I just feel like
it's really weird. It makes me uncomfortable now. Like I don't like that.
Yeah, it makes me uncomfortable as well, honestly. And you're right. I think that as kids, I know for myself, I probably have said some hateful things, but I got it because of the people around me. I was like, oh yeah, I don't like that either. But once you grow up, and I always say college is what woke me up. When I went to college and got to meet people from other environments and getting a job around people who are not like me woke me up so much. I'm not even kidding. Like even some white people, I always grew up assuming that all white people grew up with a silver spoon in their mouth. That's actually not true. Some people struggle, like they really struggle. Some people, they have household issues. Like they always want to blame the fatherless issue on Black families. That's not the case, but just Black. It applies to everybody.
Right.
But I think that it just came from me. But I think that people stray away from that because I've been to places before, years ago. Because now I don't care. But I'm like, it's gonna be any Black people there? I don't know. Because number one, fear. Number two, you're not gonna be relatable, so you don't want to stand out. But I think it needs to be some kind of harmonious shift to come through, and maybe to start with this podcast. Who knows?
Maybe we're gonna be carry the torch.
Imagine us opening though. Imagine us opening though.
I think that'd be cool. What if we have like a mixer or something? You know what I'm saying? I mean, after coronavirus is over.
That would be so exciting to throw. Like a mixer for all
for everybody.
All yeah.
Yes. And then maybe we could have like a name tag. You could be like a fun fact or where you're from.
We'll have food from all different cultures.
I'm there.
Oh, girl.
I'm there.
Oh, sorry. So recently, that was your first time having Korean barbecue, at least.
Second.
Recently.
Second.
Ooh.
I had Korean barbecue for the first time recently, and girl, I'm obsessed with it. I can't stop eating it.
Oh.
Just FYI.
Oh,
wait, it's pho. Where does that originate?
Pho is Vietnamese.
I knew that because my Vietnamese friend is who took me. Culture.
I'm here with it.
But do you see the impact it has had? Now, Tori, you have a lot of Black friends? Like, when you went to school, did you make a lot of Black friends, or how was your social group?
When I went to school, college, I didn't hang out with anybody.
Mood.
I was in Korea, so
okay.
I didn't I hung out with some Koreans, but mostly I was alone. In high school, it was predominantly white. I went to Milton High School. It's in Our basketball team, however, was all Black. It was just dominantly Black. Apparently, they had drafted them from Louisiana or something.
I believe it.
I may not be spitting facts right now.
No, I believe it because I've heard that before.
But we were very close.
All American on Netflix.
I was about to say it happened on All American, child.
So, as soon as I got back from college, I moved to the city, and that's where I met most of my Black friends.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just the best. We have a great time. We don't see colors, so it's just I'm why can't everybody be like this?
Yeah. Well, do you have you dated a Black person?
I have twice.
Did you have a bad experience with that? Do you feel like you were isolated in those situations when people see you out in public?
When I met their parents, they were so accepting and just genuinely kind to me. I will say that my parents were not happy about it.
Yeah.
But you know what? And I hope this doesn't sound biased. I don't really see a problem with cultures wanting to marry their culture. I went to Iceland one time and I learned a lot about the Icelandic culture, and they only reproduce with each other because they Iceland has some of the purest DNA. And it might be corny to think about, but I think that's kind of cool to kind of preserve a culture. Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with dating within other races, of course, but I don't. I kind of want. I don't know if I think that it is bad to want your your Nigerian son to have a Nigerian wife or something like that. Maybe it's a sense of pride, but if it comes from a place of hate, obviously not. But I think that I can understand sometimes.
I definitely can understand that too. Sometimes I'm I kind of want a whole ass like 100% Asian baby, but you know, with my dating track record, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's like, well, whoever I fall in love with is who I'll be with. And it's different. You're in America, there's so many choices, you know what I mean? But if you're in Korea, I'm sure that you would, you know.
Yeah. It's interesting. I did notice when I did have like a Black boyfriend that sometimes things in our cultures like they thought were weird, or I thought like it's just so different. But it is definitely eye-opening. Nothing was wrong with it. It was just like
it's just new. You just like, y'all do what?
Yeah.
Chitlins. Chitlins. Gizzards. Sugar on your cornbread, sugar on your grits. I'm just playing. No, I get it. But I think there's something unique about prison. You know, I keep making these disclaimers, but I always think about if colonialism never happened, colonization, and people literally stay in the countries that they were born in, how rich culture would be. Because if you think about like black culture, at least in America, we have culture, but we don't. What do we really own? You know what I mean? Like our languages and our religions were stripped from us. We were forced to learn our accents are lost, our family, our genetic history is lost. But I just think about if the world developed naturally, technologically wise, and we were all in our native countries, like how cool planet Earth would be. We probably wouldn't even have an issue with global warming.
Probably not. Probably not. I feel like America is turning into the new third world country.
I've been seeing that a lot on Twitter.
100%. We suck.
It's crazy. I'm actually fearful for the future. I'm not even for what's going on right now. I'm fearful for the thought of what could end up happening.
Oh, girl, I drank almost a whole bottle of Jameson the day I found out Bernie dropped out of the race.
Yeah. Now, you know, Bernie bros, they're like, well, we're not voting at all. I'm like, guys, do you not see what happened? Do you really, what's happening right now? Do we really want to? Now, granted, I don't have a lot of hope in Joe Biden, but I think I'd rather take the risk. So I can't. Yeah. He needs to pick a really, really, really strong vice president, and then I'll feel a lot better about it. But this is embarrassing. If I was Obama, I would relocate. If I ever meet him, I want to ask him, like, how does it feel when you see the opposite of what you planned happen? Like, what's gonna happen?
I don't know. It's everything is such a just like unknown question mark over everything, and I think
literally
that's why it's causing everyone, you know, so much anxiety.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think that a lot of people are going to have new like therapy sessions are going to increase, but the demand. I think that people are going to have new vices, smoking, drinking, things that they were doing in idle time because a lot of people not used to this. They don't want to be in a house. They can't go outside. I mean, they just want to be busy or feel good.
Did you guys see that an article about this young, I think she's like a high school Black girl, and she committed suicide in her quarantine because she just like couldn't take it.
When young kids commit, I feel really terrible because they don't even know what's ahead for them, and I hate that. I wish that they had the love that they deserve, because once you get past that little hump, you realize who you are as a person, and things can get easier. Not that they are easier, but it just sucks that a child thinks that they feel like they're not worthy enough to stick around. That's really sad.
Yeah, this is a whole other issue with like trauma. Some people are going to be traumatized by this, and people are going to develop other mental illnesses, deaths that are happening strictly because of, you know, this quarantine that's going on that wasn't handled correctly from Trump. Those deaths are not going to be recorded, you know, due to the coronavirus.
Yeah,
they're not going to record it under the right category, and just like so many things.
I can't wait to look at my children's history books.
Proper ceremony for the people.
Yeah, people basically they check in, and then I hope I see you when this is all over. I can't wait to see my children's history books if I have kids on how I'm like, let me see that book. I was there. Let me change this. Because you're right about the recording. They're not recording the people who are dying at home, which I think is probably a little difficult to do. But still, they're also categorizing people. If they were diagnosed with it and they died, they're just saying they died from coronavirus. So it's like a lot of stuff is going to be inaccurate, which is not shocking. They're not reporting a lot of stuff. They want to appear like America wanted to appear to be doing the best, and now we have outdone everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah, girl, we're winning. We're winning.
Yeah.
Woo!
And the president is talking about how he's got more views than The Bachelor on a press conference that he's supposed to have. It's like, we're supposed to be watching this. What do you mean?
We're not. I mean, we're watching The Bachelor and your press conference for the same reason. It's entertainment. So I don't know.
Girl, I can't. I had to stop. Like, it got to the point. I watched one and I feel like I liked it. It made me feel good because they had some data. The data made me feel good. Then day 2, I'm like, all right, can't watch it. I can't even. This is a joke. Like, it's a joke.
It's a complete joke. He had his some doctor come out with like a board behind him, and he was like, I'm gonna let such and such come out and speak about it, and this motherfucker stands right in front of the board.
Oh yeah, you couldn't see it. Yeah. And was like, if you look at this, no, we can't actually.
Look at what?
When I was looking yesterday, I don't remember the lady, but she was like, oh, are we taking turns today? I'm like, you're on the microphone. And even when he pulled with Dr. Fauci yesterday, it's just like, this is crazy. What is happening here? I'm hot. I can't take this off. Oh, I forgot I put it on.
Oh my goodness.
So you were sitting there hot the whole time for no reason. Alicia.
I forgot. Remember, I put this on and then, okay.
You said you had lingerie.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Let me see if I'm perspiring a little bit.
It'll block it out.
Woo. All right. Do you have any other questions for her? I'm trying to think of anything. This is a good conversation. I appreciate it.
Yeah, me too.
Do you have any questions for us?
Any questions?
Let's switch it up a little bit. Do you have questions for us?
What do you think, as being part of the Black community, of this great state, we can do to maybe I don't know, share that we are in fact in this together and that, we're not against each other? I feel like there's no platform or no one is doing, having this type of conversation with each other.
So my outlook on it, I just personally feel like Atlanta wouldn't be the problem for real. It'll be more so the state of Georgia as a whole, because Atlanta is a big city, but it's just a part of Georgia.
A very small part.
Very small part. And it's like so many people in different parts of Georgia that's not even that far away from Atlanta. They still live in the mindset of what happened 50, 60 years ago.
Georgia.
It sucks. Like, I hate the fact that, I hear people's point of views on stuff, and I'm just like, whoa.
It's like in 2020, right now?
This is happening right now, and it's so crazy because I don't even think that people realize that Forsyth County is still one of the most racist cities in the world. Well, in the United States, rather.
Yeah, 100%.
And I remember Oprah had coverage on that too.
Yeah, and it's still like that.
Yeah.
Like, I would never.
That's a good point, because we think about it, like, even with the stuff that happened with the election for the governor, and people were so surprised, but it's like Atlanta might be blue, but Georgia is red. You know what I mean? And even when you think,
need to realize where we live. Like, I understand Atlanta is just, it's so much going on here. We feel like we running shit, but realistically, as a whole,
we can't do nothing.
The second largest county in Georgia with the coronavirus is I think it's Daugherty County. Is that where Albany is? And that's a very Black city as well. And it's a lot of white people, obviously, but it's a lot of Black people there, especially because it has the HBCU.
Albany, Augusta, Macon, Savannah.
I think to change it is what we're doing right now. We got to have a conversation. Podcast is an international platform. And I think that there are people having the conversations, and maybe it's just not as visible as we would like it to be. Because I think for me, I have to be more intentional with connecting or following people that have the same beliefs and ideas that I have. And I think that, you know, just kind of just being doing the best we can. If you meet somebody and someone needs to be educated, there's a way to approach that. You know what I mean? You have to come at them in attack mode, but you should probably ask more questions and find out where that rhetoric is coming from, and then school them a little bit or a lot of it. But I think that, I mean, social groups, you know, using your social media power, talking to your family, talking to your friends. I mean, honestly, just having a conversation, because I have some friends that could use this conversation.
I have friends and family that could use this conversation. I actually have actual white people in my family, and they, like, I remember I was so confused as a kid because I remember my mom, she just dropped me off over my aunt's house, and my aunt is white, and they live in the country. I don't even remember what part of Georgia it was because I was so young. I just remember when I got there, they on 4-wheelers and red dirt. So, you know what I'm saying? It was country. And I remember we went bowling. I'm the only black person with them. And they were just calling each other the N-word. Like, literally just like, and
like, it's just a regular word. Like, it's like you saying go.
I was sitting there just like confused. And I was just like, yeah, like they were just calling each other that. And so I was just like, you know what? I can't tell my mama this because she gonna act a fool. She gonna act up. And so I just kept it a secret. I never told her, but I just was confused. I'm like, why are they doing that?
They use it in everyday language, yeah.
And I'm like, are they doing this because they have black family?
No, it's just a word. And that's why they the fact, you see that NASCAR driver who said it, who was on live.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he didn't even know he was being recorded. He even talking to a black person? I don't even know, but he just said it as if he was saying good morning. Like, it just was a part of his vernacular, and it's so crazy. It's like,
yeah, I was shook. I was just like,
and they didn't even think to cover themselves for you. They were just like, "What's up? You won too." It's like,
I couldn't say nothing because if I say something, they gonna drop me.
You outnumbered.
So I have, okay, then let me ask you this question, because, you know, I've never got to ask this question before, and we might as well while we're on the subject.
Yeah.
There are so many people that say, like, that black people are being more divisive by calling each other the N-word and not letting other people, you know, say the N-word.
Nope.
What do you feel about that?
So I don't know. Listen. So let me give my perspective. I don't use it, but I also don't use profanity at all. And I know, to me, it's like saying, like, are you okay with somebody's dad coming up to you and calling you the B word? You know what I mean? This is a word that you can probably use amongst your girlfriends, and y'all are okay with it because y'all have that rapport with each other and you understand. Black people, we know that could be a derogatory. The B word can be a derogatory term, but you know when to use it and when not to. With black people, we know that was a derogatory term, and while I don't think that we should have reinvented it, I think that we have ownership of it because we have overcome that environment that we were in where it was used against us, and that we like, I don't really know. Like, it's just like, I don't want you to, don't call me that. So
I never can put into words like how I feel about it for real. I do feel as if, like, when other races use it, it is kind of just like an eye opener. But just like I said, like, when I was younger and they did that to me, I wasn't even mad. I was just more so confused because I was trying to figure out, like, where did this come from? I'm young, so I'm like, where did this come from? I'm like, why do y'all use that? Like, why is that? Because to be real, they wasn't even using it in like a negative way. They were
just having a conversation.
They were just having, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like they were being intentionally racist. But I'm just like, why?
And
I was just confused. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. When did it become a regular adjective? A verb, adjective. I mean, I guess it could be whatever.
Like in the start of hip hop music.
Right. It became like almost like cool to be able to say it in that way, you know, not hard ER, but with like the A at the end.
Yeah. I definitely think music perpetuated that, but people will deny that though. But I think it is just like a lot of things like drug use, and you can say, oh, it's just music, but it is literature. You know what I'm saying? So there is a message being delivered, and people can translate it however they want to. But you're right. I think that music is man, I have intentionally not played certain music around some of my white coworkers. My hand look quick. I'm just kidding.
I'm guilty of even like, you know, back in high school when there would be like rap songs playing, and it's just so easy to recite all the lyrics when, you know, when you're like enjoying your time and, you know,
you're looking around like
lyrics. And I will own up to it. Like I did it, you know, driving in the car, just like reciting whatever, but I will never do it again. You know, growing up, once I got out of that, I just realized it was so wrong. Just like be conscious about it. Don't do it. I don't know what's so hard to understand about that.
It's one word,
don't do it.
But I think it's also when we think about people who are not around Black people on a daily, it's easy to just use it. They're not around. Who's gonna check us? You know what I mean? And did you guys see the girl on Twitter who was playing a violin? And she was playing the Box by Roddy Ricch, and then she played the violin on the N-word part, and people was like, "This don't sit well with me." They were like, she should have stopped playing when the word came out. I think she was Asian. So.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think it's one thing to be a kid and just doing things because you were rebellious. But when you become an adult and it's time to educate yourself, that's what you got to do. That's just what
there are repercussions to it.
For everything. You can make an excuse. I was young. Okay, that's true. I did a lot of things I shouldn't have done when I was a kid. But now, in my big age of 31, I know better. Like, you know what I mean? It's just you got to be.
Yeah. I would probably even say for me personally, I probably did ignorant shit up until I was about 24.
Yeah,
real.
And it happens, and that's why I hate social media sometimes, because there are people who are way younger than us doing these things and getting drugged as deserved, but they kind of don't even really get to learn because they're just going to double down, and this is going to follow them forever. Versus us, we had an environment where we did stuff, we learned our lesson, and we're glad we didn't have social media. But now it's like all of y'all racist, every last one of y'all.
Yeah,
but they're just being a rebellious teen or child like we were.
It's just hard. And I mean, I wish sometimes this quarantine has had me so discouraged and frustrated because I'm just like, I am not a doctor. I am not a lawyer. I'm not like an influencer by any means. So how am I going to get, you know, my thought process or my feelings out there, or try to even find people that are like-minded like me? Because it's you just look everywhere and it's all bad news. And you're like,
it's
I need
discouraging.
To find positivity in this. And definitely speaking with you guys, there's a little bit of hope.
Hey, there's a lot of hope. You know, man, it's
you just gotta first of all, you just have to associate yourself with the right people and just use your voice.
And think about it, there can be change. Do you ever, like, for me, for Black culture, I think about, you know, back when slavery was a thing, there were people who were trying to escape slavery. And the fact that slavery went on for 300 plus years, imagine somebody being like, man, this ain't gonna never end. Just stop. You know, stop wasting your time trying to escape. But now looking back, we overcame it. And then we overcame, you know, segregation, things like that. I think even if we don't see the immediate results,
that is a good point.
Even though we might not see immediate results, they will impact into a greater result in the future. So if I have kids, whatever, I want them to have a better life. So if it means that, you know, I got to still deal with this while still standing for what I believe in, it's still worth it, because it's going to fall into the right ears and it's going to make an impact some kind of way.
It's just taking so long.
It's taking so long.
I'm ready.
Imagine our ancestors like, y'all tripping off of that. Do you know what we went through?
Like, I marched so that y'all didn't have to go through this.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dang, this is a good one.
It's a never-ending rabbit hole.
It is. You're right, because there'll be a new issue and another issue. It'll just be issues that we imagine what is to come, y'all. That's a fearful thing, but you know, you just kind of got to keep fighting a good fight. If you believe in it, you should advocate for it. That's really all you can do. And if I can just have peace in my immediate environment, that's good for me.
I think, yeah, definitely. I really want to find, you know, if there's anybody that is like pushing some sort of movement like this, or where all minorities have a place to come together and be, you know, be one instead of super divisive. I'll probably do some research and see if, because I know Draco is talking about seeing if we can do anything about it, or find a place where that can happen.
That would be cool.
Yeah, because I'm
Oh,
trying to
well.
stay sane, and I have realized that I've been getting very heavy chest pains when I'm out in public.
It's like probably from anxiety.
Yeah, 100%. I had an anxiety attack inside Kroger. Just like getting out of my car door. It was just like someone's gonna look at me funny, like someone's gonna say something to me. It's very scary. I almost want to like hide the fact that I am Asian.
Yeah, I
Like,
feel the same way all the time too, girl.
Oh.
I understand. I do understand that. I feel like sometimes now that I live in a more higher income area and more white people, I feel like I can't just look like anything going to the store like I did when I stayed in
and it's
Arietta.
just so crazy because we have the label of model minority on
Yep.
Asians, so people don't think that we deal with any of that kind of stuff.
You're like, look, y'all got all these stores and shops and all that, but that's not the case. People first, I've seen some people disrespectful to Koreans. Like I've gone to nail shops and they cussing them out because they have an accent, so you think they're not smart. So I don't think there's no such. I mean, I can't believe they would even say model Korean. I guess they have to put a class in there somewhere. They got to kind of like rank everybody some kind of way. But
yeah, so people don't think that we have it as bad. And I mean, like I said, you shouldn't like compare. But I'll tell you a funny story about when I got my nails done one time, or my toes done with my sister, and I was walking out of a nail salon in Alpharetta, and this lady is walking towards the door as I'm leaving, and she was like, "Oh, are you guys closed?" And I was like, I'm like, look at my toes.
Who's guys?
I'm like, no, but your mouth should be like, what are you doing? Why are you asking me that?
Oh my God, dang, that's crazy. Yeah, I've actually been in stores in my regular clothes. I've been in a store where they have uniform and somebody would come up to me and ask me if I work there. I'm like, girl, I have on a wedding dress. Do I work at Walmart?
Put some flies on.
You know what I'm saying? It sucks. I wish that we didn't have to deal with this type of mess. And like I said, I'm glad we're having this conversation because I'm not gonna lie, I don't always think about what other cultures deal with. I think about the mess that we have, and sometimes it's like
a lot on your plate already.
Yeah, it's like, well, I got honey. You know what I mean? And but it's just interesting, man. It just makes me have I have a lot of concern for everyone in general, but it just makes me think twice. It's just like, you just don't know what people are dealing with. And I'm in no place, and I never will be any place to think that I'm better than anyone culture-wise. I just need to be more mindful of any thoughts that I have or any remarks that I might make because they have an impact, and I don't
100%. I agree. It starts with yourself.
Hey. Well, this is a good conversation. It really was. I appreciate it. And we're going to find out what kind of microphone it is because
I'll take a picture of it and I'll send it to you.
Yeah. What, is there a brand on there that's the same?
Is it what?
What's the brand of it?
So I don't know. It's like a...
Oh, it's like what, CAD? I'll figure it out. Yeah, if you can send a picture, I'm going to find it because I like our microphones, but they...
What if it's like cap?
Oh, it probably does. Oh, CAD USB mic. But no. Oh.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, all right. Well, you get it. But no, our mics are really good, but they pick up every little thing. And that's good for some people, but maybe not for pod. It's like good for podcasting, but mics. Yeah, if we were in, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
This is what they use. But if we were in a studio with padded walls, it'll be a little different, but we're in a house, so. Well, I'll let Draco do the rap though, because this is
I'm sorry, if y'all see me pause and if y'all see me pause during this whole thing and just stare at the screen, I'm literally just not trying to make faces because my Wi-Fi is doing the fucking most. So I keep having to switch between my phone Wi-Fi and the home Wi-Fi. So if you see me just staring, I promise you, I'm not ignoring you or I'm not just looking off in space. My Wi-Fi is really just acting up right now, so I'm sorry. But anywho, thank you, Tori, for your contributions to that today. I really enjoyed it. But we'll talk more about what we can do off air. I'm like, we got to figure some shit out. But
yes, please.
Yeah,
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
And you hold the conversation very well. And I always, whenever we have a good guest, I always tell them people be shy. And so I get it, but you really we had a great intellectual conversation. So I appreciate that.
So do you are you still taking freelance makeup appointments?
I am.
Okay, well you should advertise, where people can find you. I don't know if you want to send them to your Instagram or website or what.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, if you don't mind, can I share 2?
Yeah, this your world, girl.
If you ever need a freelance makeup artist for anything, you can hit me up at TORIBAEE. The second Instagram that I wanted to share is actually called @ShiftChangeATL. It's for people that are in the industry in Atlanta that are having a hard time getting unemployment, whether their boss doesn't want to give it to them or, anything to do with that. We are trying to, make a community with industry workers that aren't being treated fairly.
Wow.
And getting compensated the way they need to. So
can you spell that out?
Yeah, shift SHIFT, change CHANGEATL.
That's really cool.
Yeah, please give a look. And they also have a Facebook page and they're on Twitter. So please check them out.
Yeah, you better go off and you better get these girls.
We gonna make changes this year, okay?
I'm not a makeup artist, but I'm a makeup artist. You know what I'm saying?
That's okay. I see your picture back there, okay?
Oh, Draco did that.
I actually did that.
Okay.
Oh.
Beautiful. I love it. You gotta let me do it one time.
Exactly.
Okay.
I just went.
So anywho, this has been another great episode of OD Podcast.
Thank you so much, Tori. Seriously.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Oh, hello. What did we learn? What did Janae teach us, Draco? Hello. All right. Well, have a good one. I'm about to hit stop recording.